Welcome back to World Fight Products Interviews. It's our pleasure to be invited into the home of current Canadian UFC fighter Mark Bocek. Mark, how does the process go from moving from a small MMA organization into the big time UFC?
Well, what happened was after my first 4 professional fights, I was doing pretty good. I was ending all the matches in the first round. And, I could have stuck around in those smaller organizations like King of the Cage, but, to me, I wanted more of a challenge. Some people might say it was a little early, but to me it's just about the challenge.
Right.
And my manager talked to the UFC. They were impressed with what they saw, and I was able to get in.
Excellent. In your debut contest in the UFC, you met Frankie Edgar. Do you feel he was too big of a step up in competition for your debut fight, or?
No, I think he's a great opponent. I have all the respect for him, but I wasn't mentally prepared for what was happening. I wasn't mentally prepared to fight in the UFC.
Yeah. When the matchmaking begins, how much of a say do you actually have in the picking of an opponent?
At the beginning, not much really. I mean, I didn't turn anyone down. I didn't pick anyone. They just basically said it's going to be Frankie, and I said okay. I haven't picked or choose anyone since. It seems like there may be a little more leeway now, but I don't want to pick easy opponents, and I definitely want to fight the guys that beat me.
Excellent. It's obvious by the quality of opposition you faced so far, you're not just looking to pad your fights to get to the next stage of another contract. Who ideally would you like to fight next, and why?
Well, there's a lot of tough opponents. I was thinking guys like Aaron Riley, Rich Clemente. George Gurgel just got cut from the UFC, but I wasn't thinking of fighting him anyway since the last guy I faced has beaten him.
Right.
But I never really turned anyone down, so we'll see what happens.
Who would your dream matchup be? Obviously, I know it would be for the championship, but
yeah, eventually whoever it is for the whoever has the belt at the time when I think I'm ready to fight for it. But no one in specific really.
Right. Recently, you fought on the undercard of Couture Lesnar, coming away with an impressive victory over Allen Robinson. Tell us if you altered your training schedule for this specific fight, and if you did, what changes did you make?
Well, yeah, for this team I changed camps. I'm with American Top Team now, and it's just way deeper in my weight class. There's just way better guys, and my whole training routine was different. My whole weight cut was different. That was a big difference as well. I didn't have to suffer and starve myself. Before I'd starved myself for like 3 weeks, and it was really difficult to recover in 24 hours.
Yeah.
But now I had a much better weight cut and much better recovery. So when I was in there fighting, I actually didn't feel weak. I actually felt like I didn't cut weight. I felt better than every day in the training room. So I think with this new process, I'm not really going to get tired in a fight again, and I'm really confident to go back in there again now.
That's excellent. Have there been any tentative dates mentioned for your next bout?
No, not yet. Basically, all I want to do is just improve, just get better. Never stay complacent. I'm always trying to improve, and I'm thinking maybe by April or so, something like that.
How did your affiliation with American Top Team in Florida come about?
Well, what happened was Marcelo Garcia is a good friend of mine, and it was time for me to switch camps. I needed a camp which had really serious depth in my weight class, and I'd known Marcelo for a long time. I trained with him for a while. He's a really good friend of mine. I cornered him in a fight. He ended up cornering me in a fight while I was with Team Quest, but I thought about a couple other camps, and then when I thought of Top Team, it was like, oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. I know Marcelo. I know some guys there. It's really deep in my weight class. He basically talked to Ricardo Liborio, the head guy there, one of the owners, and then I talked with him, and shortly I was there.
The UFC has been criticised for having no ranking system to speak of. What's your opinion of matchmakers such as Randy coming back from retirement, getting a title shot straight away, and Brock Lesnar having a few suspected early fights and him getting a title shot straight away? Because there's got to be guys that have fought a dozen or so fights. They're making a lot less money and thinking, where's my title shot? Like, I've been banging the bags for years. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah,
I don't want to get you fired or anything here.
No,
go ahead.
No, Brock's a big money draw.
Yeah.
But he's talented also.
Right.
But you still got guys like Nogueira there, and Mir, and a bunch of other guys that were in the mix for a long time, and now he just kind of gets the title shot. But he won. He beat Randy.
Yeah.
And nothing you can say. I don't know who he's going to face next. The winner of maybe Nogueira and Mir, but it's got to be probably the fastest guy who's ever got a title shot in the history of the sport.
MMA has such a huge following in Toronto. When it finally gets the green light from the government, can you see venues such as the Rogers Centre selling out 30,000+?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Montreal was huge, and from what I'm hearing, it may be legal by mid 09 or so. I think UFC is planning to do a show in Toronto.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Gyms seem to be opening up on a weekly basis. Do you think this influx of, you're laughing, but do you think this influx will help the fistic sports, or will it be a case of the strongest gyms survive?
I think it's great for the sport. The sport's just blown up. Mm-hmm. But what you're starting to find with MMA now is what started happening with jiu-jitsu a few years ago. Basically, a few years ago, you had a couple good gyms with reputable instructors, and then all of a sudden you just see black belts popping up everywhere, right, and running these clubs, and unfortunately, the same thing's starting to happen with MMA, or McDojos, as they call them. McDojos.
So it could be diluted. The level of coaches drops, obviously, because it takes such a long time to get to that level. There's a possibility that people who are coming into the sport and not being taught correctly. Exactly.
The students of the game, the hardcore fans, they know exactly who's who and right, what's what. But the average person, or the parents who want to sign their kids up, they have no idea, no clue, and will just send them to anywhere to the nearest spot. So yeah, it definitely gets watered down, like jiu-jitsu or karate or anything else did. Right. But it's just business, I guess.
What considerations would you advise to anyone looking to join a gym or get their child involved in MMA?
Just do some research on the coaching staff, on the instructors. Check their credentials out. You get so many guys that are just claim to be coaches, but never really trained anywhere, or never competed anywhere, and don't really have any credentials. Right. Or I see it all the time where you see unqualified instructors with tons of students, or even sometimes myself, I don't even have that many students in my class. But you see it all the time. So just got to do some research, or talk to someone who understands this game.
Surrounding yourself with a great team is a must for any professional athlete. You've taken it to the next level, and you've actually married your manager, Mary. How does that work out, and who's the real boss Bocek in the house?
Yeah, she's my manager. She sets up all my fights, gets all my sponsors. She's great. She does everything for me, supports what I do. Wouldn't be able to do it without her. Business stays in the family. I couldn't ask for more.
Perfect. What cheat foods would you usually have, if you're allowed any at all?
Oh, many types. Chocolate and ice cream, probably at the top of the list. But the way things are going now, the way my metabolism's going, it's really hard for me to gain weight. Really? So
I wish I had that problem.
So I basically just I never weigh my food or count calories. Even when I cut weight now, actually, it just has to be clean and sensible. Yeah. But like as of right now, I don't. I feel good eating junk food after a fight because I dieted for a few weeks.
Right.
But now every day normally, I just don't feel good eating junk food. So I just eat kind of five times a day, clean. That's about it.
Nice. Give us your take on Spike's promotion of the Tough series. They seem to be getting more away from the grassroots of fighting and more into the showmanship of who can get drunk the most, who can smash as many windows and things. But what do you think about this whole Tough series?
At the beginning, it was good. It was good exposure for the sport, and you had some really talented guys there, like Koscheck and Sanchez. These weren't just some jokers; they were talented, serious athletes. Now in the first 2 or 3 seasons were kind of interesting to me. But then I couldn't really watch it after a while. It just wasn't appealing to me. Or I'd fast forward to a couple of the fights, but just watching guys drink, get drunk, trash the house, it puts a bad mark on the fighters. Yeah. So I don't really watch it anymore. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for your time. From the staff of Will 5 Products, we thank you for spending this time with us, and wish you every success in the future.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
For more information regarding Mark's schedule and sponsorship opportunities, hit up this website, markbocek.com.